This next song is the one that's going to be discussed and explained, so I'll tell you what it's about later. It's called The Journey of a Lifetime.
Lonely shadows dwell here now. The silence moves
just take this off and all. Right, I'll have to digress before I begin to explain. When we heard about doing this and we said, can we do it? Phil said, you know, if you've got a song on a subject that can be debated, and we rummaged through all the songs that we've got, and there wasn't really anything that had a yes or no debatable thing. So we rummaged through and tried to find something that's just got a fairly deep message, so it can be discussed, if you like. So now I've digressed, I shall try and explain. It's a very morbid song, actually. It's sort of I suppose it's sort of an off-the-wall love song, the idea being, the worst thing about dying, say if you knew you were going to die, for example, and I hope there ain't nobody that does, well, we all will eventually, I know. It occurred to me that the worst thing about dying and leaving this world are all the people you love, having to leave them behind you, and wishing you could take them all with you, if you know what I mean. You know, heaven must be a great place if it's there, so you want to take your friends with you, don't you, in a way. So that's it really, come with me on the journey of a lifetime, the journey of a lifetime being the journey after your lifetime. And the reason I wrote it, I don't know if I had the right to write it really. It's not as if I've got any terminal illness or whatever, but there's this guy that I knew, and I didn't know him too well, but I know a lot of people that did know him better, and he was only a few years older than me, and he had leukemia, he'd been ill a couple of times, and I went to the funeral with everybody else, even though I didn't know him that well, and it just hit home to me, you know, that every moment, don't waste any moment, and he didn't. He was one of these people that did like everything, rock climbing, abseiling, you name it, I'm sure he did it. And I didn't think, right, let's sit down and write a lyric about that. It just affected me, upset me, but even though I didn't know him that well, it just brought it all home. And read this lyric, and it later dawned on me where it had been inspired from. So that's it really.
Alright, you know, the purpose of the evening is to start a discussion about subjects. I know it's like a very sensitive subject and hard to debate or whatever, but oh, sorry, I'm wrong way. Yeah, so I myself, I'm very scared of the idea of death and everything. Part of it is the loneliness of it. You've got to go on your own sort of thing. And also, I'm not religious myself, but when I was starting primary school, I had a very religious teacher who sort of hammered into me the ideas of hell and all this sort of thing. I just wondered, yeah, if anyone else got anything to say on any sort of subject concerned with that. I mean, it doesn't have to start an argument or anything, it can't really, can it? But, you know, anyone got anything to say at all, how they feel about the whole subject? Just ask me. Please.
First of all, nice song and a nice explanation as well. I thought it was very, very professional. And yeah, I think when I was at primary school, I always hated like, the way that we was forced down your throat about religion and what was going to happen to you when you did certain things, sort of like after death. So I think, yeah, what you said, I didn't like having it forced down my throat.
Yeah, I think stuff like that, if you, I don't know how people feel about religion, I don't know, but I suppose if you think about it logically, you think, okay, this can't be right, but if at such a young age you have it impressed on you, I think it sticks with you, I don't know, upsets me anyway. Anyone else going to say any sort of subject concerned with illness, death, the afterlife, whatever? Take a pick. Aliens? No? Would you like to speak to anyone? Alright, yeah, I'll...
Can I ask Colin where he thinks the journey of a lifetime is?
Right.
Where is it to?
Okay.
Did you catch that?
Is this one working? Yeah. Well, none of us really know, do we? I don't believe in any man-made religion. It's all a load of... I can say bullshit, can't I? I've seen this Phil said fuck about 10 times last week. It's all a load of crap. So, I think there is some sort of afterlife, some sort of great big astral plane where we all go and we can drink beer, smoke fags and listen to our favourite LPs for the rest of eternity. I hope so. I hope so. But I hope there ain't a hell.
Yeah, apparently the Church of England decided that there wasn't a hell anymore, didn't they? It was just a state of nothingness forever or something like that. I read that somewhere anyway, I don't know.
That's because they've all reserved their seats in hell, I think.
That's the one, yes. Repentant sinners and stuff, yeah. Right, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, one of the things like with religion, tying that in with death, is sort of a lot of religions think, suicide is sort of not, it's bad because you're ending your life, only God going for your life. Has anybody got anything to say on that, on people's right to take their own life with euthanasia or suicide or whatever?
I think everyone has a choice whether they kill themselves or not. If things are that bad, then it should be up to them to make their minds whether they take their own life or not. They can't let other people do it for them, I don't think, unless they're too ill to do it themselves. Euthanasia is a big question. I don't know whether the debate wants to swing towards euthanasia or not. I mean, I don't know if it needs to, but it's just something to remember, something to keep in mind. Take the microphone away.
Right, I'm back on mine, okay. Okay, oh, you've got something with you. You've just been pointed at.
I just thought, why is suicide so bad, you know? Most people do it. I mean, why do they do it? Because at the time they want to do it, you know. And because it's for something else. They're looking for something else that's sound. And what they've got now isn't sound. You just float, don't you? I mean, one of the things is from the song it came across that you've got quite a nice view of death. And it's not a sort of a painful thing. It's like a nice little mellow move towards this other plane. I just wondered if you...
Yeah, I suppose I've tried to capture the sort of the release of it, you know. Cheers, anyway.
Thank you. Does anyone want to go into the sort of physical realities of it and stuff? Like, and I think the thing about suicide is you have to be so like desperate, you know what I mean, to sort of take that leap into the unknown. Don't you think? No. Oh, okay.
The physical side of death for me was when my wife's mother died. She'd been living with us for a couple of years. I could cope with that, but what I couldn't cope with was all the relatives coming round. It's turned me suicidal quickly, you know, it really did. There's so much feeling around that, so many things people think they should feel this and they should say that. I'd never faced it before, and I found it very, very hard, very stressed out. The other thing that I'd say is it's not just about death, it's about separation, and you can be separated in other ways. And, well, not the first girlfriend, but one of the first girlfriends I had, I was really close to, and I thought, you know, this is going to go on for forever kind of thing, and it didn't. And I found that very hard to deal with. I didn't get morbidly depressed, I just got sort of very romantically sad. I don't know if that means anything, the way I've described it. But she's still a person that I think of now. I've not seen her for, I don't know, 15 years. No idea what she's doing, where she's living, if she's married, whether she's got kids, all those kind of things. And I still feel that sense of separation. And I think in some ways it's like a positive sense of separation because I feel sure that she's okay and that she's doing fine. And I think if we have somebody close to us that dies, when Colin's talking about a journey of a lifetime and sort of trying to look on the positive side, and I think that's one way of coping with death as well, you sort of think you're separated, and you sort of want to believe, even if you're not religious, you want to believe they've gone on to something better in some way. And so you create something in your head, yeah, whether it's religious or just, you know, like a science fiction kind of thing. You think they still exist somehow. They're still real to me because I can still remember them. And there's that kind of thing. And what's been real to you and what you remembered about a person has gone into that song, yeah. I don't know how many, has anyone got that sort of experience of not so much being sad or miserable about death, but the sort of feelings of other people sort of crowding around you, and, you know, anyone had a grandparent die, if not a parent? Yeah? You know how, like, you got all this thing around organising the funeral and, you know, not being sure how to cope with the whole thing. Yeah, it's difficult. Anyway, I said to Helen and Sean that they'd have the crack of the mic, and I've said more than I really wanted to.
I think, yeah, most people are scared of dying. I think one of the reasons that is people don't talk about death. It's something that's kind of pushed away under the carpet, you know, we don't talk about it. If people did talk about it more, people would be able to come to terms with it. I don't want anybody else to say about that. Maybe there should be more sort of counselling, more discussion in schools of death and bereavement. So anybody wants to comment on that?
I asked the question, who's scared? I mean, invariably, you may find the person who is dying is not scared of dying, but the people around him, or her, they're the ones who are scared. I mean, yeah, death happens, you know, but it's those that are left behind that have to have the shit. As you say, you know, they have to put up with it. Death is nothing, you know. If you die, you're ready for it. It's all the external people. They're the ones that aren't ready for it, and they're never going to be ready for it until it's their time.
Leading from what you've just said there, back to the suicide thing, saying it's okay if somebody feels that bad they want to do it, but in the thought of the people you leave behind, then it becomes a very selfish act.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, in some ways, I'm talking from personal experience. When I was 17, went through shite, got pissed up, got peeled up, floated. Bloody brilliant. But woke up in the morning and felt shite because I'd been pumped. You know, it was horrible. That was the horrible bit. And then all the rest of the attention on me, I didn't want it. You know, afterwards, I was sound. Everybody else was just in a panic.
so it struck you the fact that you'd worried the crap out of your mum and dad and everything?
No. I mean, I just looked out the window and saw a tree and thought, fucking hell, that's brilliant.
I mean, after when you...
Yeah, the following morning, I looked out the window and saw a tree and thought, fucking brilliant, that is. And just sat staring at this tree, you know. I mean, this was out popping, you know. This is when uppers and downers were given to anybody. I mean, at 16, 17, you go to a doctor and you say you're depressed, and I gave you pills. It was great. My mate was going back every other week. He kept getting stronger and stronger pills, so he kept flogging it to everybody. Good night out, 2 pints, a couple of those, cheapest night out ever. It's as good as having 20 pints, and you still don't get the gut. So I mean, that was the sort of life, you know. You just float, you just mellow. You know, and afterwards, it's like a new life. You just see trees, see a cloud. Oh gosh, you know, all this space stuff. Oh, look at that cloud. Sound. But death is shite to the people who are around you. I mean, I've had that side, losing my grandfather. You know, it's just the times I'd not spoken to him. You know, spoken to him. The stories he'd never told me. That was that was the thing. Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else want to say anything, or should we wind up and go back to band? Yeah? Wind up? Yeah? Okay.
Colin, are you ready?
You ready?
I think so. What were you going to...
Today.
Hey?
Today.
Oh, sorry, I see what you mean. No.
Just give us the nod when you're...